right there. He's right there.
Hey, Adam, how's it going? How are you? Awesome, man. You look awesome.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Sure.
Sorry. Thank you so much.
Thank you. There you go.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you. Hi.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Problem.
Hi, everyone.
You
were amazing.
Thank you very much. Yeah, something
Can I give those to him? Just read the back of it.
Hi, hello. So today I'm going to be doing a story time video all about the time that I met Adam Driver. I officially met Adam Driver May 24th, 2019, which was a Friday. I had heard from several Kylo Ren and Reylo fan pages that Adam Driver was performing on Broadway and the play production of Burn This. I had seen several people who are on those groups share pictures of their time going to New York City and seeing him at the side door outside of the theater and taking like some pictures with him. I kind of fantasized about being able to go. I thought it would be so cool in order to do it, but felt like I couldn't justify making such a large expense. I felt like, you know, maybe I'll meet him someday, but you know, that day is just not now. It wasn't until I saw one photo in particular, which I'm going to share right here, that really motivated me to just go ahead and do it. I just felt like I'm not married, I don't have kids, I hadn't made any sort of big grand purchase for myself in a long time, and I did have some money saved up, so I just thought to myself, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I was determined that if I was gonna go ahead and do this, that I was gonna go all out. I didn't want to buy tickets and go to New York City just to be stuck in the nosebleed section. I just felt like I needed to go ahead and make the most of this experience. So I saw that there was like a Thursday showing like months and months. I think it was about 4 months away. It was for the second row. The minimum I was able to buy was just 2 tickets. I couldn't just buy one. So I figured I would sell the second ticket. I went ahead and I purchased the tickets. I had like 4 months to get a hotel room, to get a flight, to plan out what outfit I wanted to wear or how I wanted to do my makeup. Yes, I am that extra. So I was in the search for finding somebody to go with me. And I actually have a friend who lives in the northern East Coast region of the United States, and a flight for her would only be about 2 hours away, and it wouldn't actually be that expensive. So she was like my initial choice. She said that she was going to be able to do it, but about, I want to say like a month or 2 before, she, you know, told me, you know what, I have like these crazy work situations and I'm just not going to be able to take the time off, which was totally fine.
You just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would.
So about 4 or 5 days before it was actually time to leave for New York City, my cousin actually came through like at the last minute and was like, hey, I actually have free days to take off from work and I've always wanted to go to New York City and I would love to go. So I was totally stoked. You know, my cousin and I are very close and I was excited to have her be the one to come with me. So it's finally time for me to fly to New York City. I left May 22nd, which was a Wednesday, and I was going to be leaving May 25th, which was a Saturday. So I was going to be traveling Wednesday. The show was on Thursday. I was going to have a free day on Friday and travel back home that Saturday, which was the 25th. 4 days in total, 2 days of traveling and 2 days of actually being in the city. Yeah, 4 days total for this whole crazy little adventure, but it's totally worth it. So I get to New York City. I'm there the very first day when I arrived by myself. My cousin was going to be arriving the day of the show a few hours before, and we had kind of figured it out that she would be able to get there on time and it was going to be fine. That first half of the day that I was there, I was by myself. I stayed in one of those little pod hotels that was like right in the middle of like the Times Square, you know, Manhattan area, and I just totally fell in love. I love the little hotel. It was just so quaint and it was right, you know, in the hustle bustle of the city, and I just like really, really loved it. As a tourist, like for me, that was just like a total dream. I loved it. The very next day, my cousin was going to be arriving like pretty late in the day, so I took the morning, I went for a walk, you know, I had breakfast, and then pretty much like around from noon to 7:30, I was literally getting ready the whole entire time. The show started at 8. My hotel was only 10 minutes away from the theater, so I figured I was gonna dedicate as much time as I possibly could to getting ready. Getting ready for me meant taking a shower, whitening my teeth, straightening my hair, blow drying, putting on the makeup, and putting on the outfit. It was just, it's a lot. It's a whole lot. It takes a village. Finally, I get ready, I look at the clock, it's 7:30, and even though, like I said, I'm only 10 minutes away from the theater, with traffic, it's like 30 minutes. And the show starts at 8, and I had also seen online that once the show starts, they do have a cutoff time where they will lock the door and they won't let people in anymore, even though they have a ticket. I have all of that going through my mind, and I'm starting to kind of freak out. I get an Uber, and we're in the car, and the traffic is just not moving. It's just not moving at all. And I'm kind of starting to freak out, and I'm literally like staring at my phone like every second, like every few seconds, like freaking out that I'm not gonna make it before they lock the doors. And I think I only had about 3 minutes left, and I'm still like about a block away. And my Uber driver tells me, look, that theater is right where the whole Times Square strip is. I'm not going to be able to get in there. It's just too much chaos. Then I just asked her if it would be okay to end the ride there, and thankfully she was willing to. So I just walked around the corner, and she gave me like really good instructions on how to get there. I walked around the corner, I get into the theater, and I'm literally the last person that they let in, and they lock the door behind me. If you're wondering what happened to my cousin, basically my cousin, her flight got delayed and she got held back, so she ended up arriving right as I was entering the theater. I had already kind of known that she wasn't gonna be able to make the first half of the show, but I talked to the attendant and she told me that if she shows up at intermission, she would be able to come in. So I kind of just knew that I was gonna see the first half of the show by myself, and I was fine with that. I mean, it wasn't ideal, but it was fine. I was just happy that she was finally there. So like I said, I get there kind of like right before the show starts. I walk into the theater and I have this like attendant ushering me to my seat. She looks at my ticket and she says, oh, you know, you have a front row seat. And I said, oh, well, when I bought it online, it said, you know, the second row. And she said, oh, well, did you get it through like a different website? And I said, yeah. And she's like, well, the layout, sometimes they don't have it completely accurate. And I was like, okay. So she's like, you're actually seated in the front row. And I'm literally just finding this out as I'm walking into the theater. So I'm being ushered down to my seat. Everyone is it's already a packed house. Everyone's already in their seat and it's quiet, and I'm being ushered down to the front row. I look at the front row, half of the front row is completely empty, and I don't know why. And the attendant just goes ahead and tells me, all right, here you go. And I look around and I'm like, I sit down and I hear somebody say, who is she? And then like a couple minutes later, the show starts. I just, it was really, really nuts. And I mean, it was pretty cool, but crazy at the same time. Like I said, I'm in the front row. My half of the front row, I have no idea. It's completely empty. I'm literally seated by myself. The second half of the front row is totally full. I don't know what's going on, but you know, whatever. So that, you know, they tell everyone, put your cell phones away, and then the lights go down and the curtain opens and the stage lights go on. And you know, Kerry Russell comes out and all these other actors come out. And the whole time I'm wondering, where's Adam Driver? Where is Adam Driver?
Where is Adam Driver?
I felt like I almost couldn't concentrate. I felt like nervous. I felt scared. I was like, how am I gonna feel when he actually comes out? And about a quarter way through the first half of the show, he finally comes out and he plays like this 80s kind of, you know, hustler bustler, kind of like New York kind of guy, and he's wearing like this really like dated suit. It's just so hilarious. And his character plays like this totally crazy, chaotic guy, and he comes in, I think the first scene it was like raining or something like that. So he comes in to the scene and he's like just taking off his clothes because he's like, his character is a total weirdo, and he's like stripping and all that, and he's just like down to like, you know, an undershirt and his pants. And you know, like on Broadway, on these stage productions, they have all of these areas, these markers where the actors need to be standing on certain spots of the stage. So like I said, I'm in the front row by myself, at least my half, and his stage direction is just basically, you're me and I'm him. And it's like, I'm like, what? So I'm sitting there, I'm in the front row, and like literally his feet are like, and his stage direction is just to basically come around and be like right here. And literally his like feet are like right on my eye line and practically this far away. I swear to you, if I just went to my hand like this, I'd be touching him. And it was just like a totally crazy and surreal experience. And I just felt like,
What is my life?
so, you know, intermission comes and, you know, my cousin's able to show up, and then the empty seats, I find out that from the couple next to me that they showed up actually too late and they locked the doors on them and they had to wait until intermission to come in. So it wasn't until after intermission then I was like seated with other people in the front row. But yeah, like that first half I was like flying solo. Pun intended. After the show, I had found out through several people on Twitter that if you wanted to meet him after the show, how to get to the side door and what was the best thing to do and all that. And my cousin and I go immediately after the show to the side door, and we're standing there, I think for about like 15 minutes. And eventually a security person comes out and he says, none of the actors are going to be coming out today.
They ask you how you are, and you just have to say that you're fine.
I kind of had like a little bit of a panic, but I didn't at the same time because I knew that I still had Friday left. And I figured I'm just gonna have to try again one more time tomorrow, and if it doesn't happen, then that's fine. It just wasn't meant to be. But regardless, I got to see the play and it was still awesome. So I was gonna just have to try my luck again. Friday morning, my cousin and I get up early, you know, we have breakfast, we go to the Empire State Building, we go to Central Park, we go to the Met. We have the most amazing day, and that whole day was just so incredibly magical and fun and whimsical, and I had just such an incredibly fun day. But there was just so much walking involved. By the end of the day, we were so incredibly tired. Our feet hurt, our legs hurt, and we took like a 2-hour nap. I set my alarm to make sure that we woke up on time to show up again to the theater, and that's exactly what we did. We woke up. This time I wasn't gonna get all dolled up. I literally just threw on a sweater and like haphazardly put on some eyeliner and called it a day. So we leave the hotel about an hour before I knew the show was going to be getting out, but with traffic and all that, it ended up just being 30 minutes. And you know, surprisingly, I didn't have to wait that long. We were like the first people there waiting in line and talking with some of the people like next to us. So basically a security guard person finally comes out and he said, the actors are going to be coming out in a little bit. He said that we couldn't touch them, that we couldn't grab them, obviously, or hug them or anything like that.
I want you to join me.
This is my ringtone.
We can rule together and bring a new order to the galaxy.
Hello? So the security guards come out and they tell us, you know, the actors are going to be coming out. So I have my playbill and my cousin has hers. And it was funny because right before he came out, I was like giving my cousin all these instructions. I must have been so incredibly annoying. I told her, okay, I need you to stand at this angle and make sure that I'm at this light, because she agreed to go ahead and film all of this for me and like try to snap a photo of him and I really quick, because I knew I wasn't going to have an opportunity to ask him for a photo.
No selfies, please.
You had to basically see if the person next to you was willing to help you out. And thankfully I had my cousin who was like who is not super emotionally attached to Adam Driver, so she was willing to help me out. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, cousin. Beautiful cousin of mine. I love you. So I gave my cousin all these little instructions and the security guard's like, okay, they can only sign burn this Broadway stuff.
Only burn this in your body, unfortunately.
And don't grab them and stuff. So I'm like, okay, got it. And then the moment of truth comes out and the door swings open, and I just remember like my heart like fluttering. I was like so incredibly nervous. And you know, Adam is just so like, he's a lot more like introverted, even though, you know, he's an actor and he performs on stage and movies and stuff. He is pretty introverted. I could tell he's like kind of shy, and maybe being in social settings kind of is not his total forte, which for that reason, I appreciated that he was willing to come out at all. And, you know, I just wanted to make sure that I said something to him. And I just figured, I made this whole venture, I took this whole journey, I have to at least say, you know, a little something to him. So I had just kept planning it in my head, like I was gonna be like, hey, I really, you know, I like your work, or I don't know, I kept changing what it was I was gonna say. And then by the time I see him getting closer, he's like signing people's stuff, he's getting closer. My cousin, he signed my cousin's playbill, I'm next. And then I look up at him and and I like lock eyes with him for like 2 whole seconds. I'm just like, hi, I really enjoyed the show. That's like all I'm able to get out. And he was like, oh, thank you. And he like signs it and he like kind of chuckles and then just keeps going. And I'm like, that was amazing. This is what I wanted. This is what I signed up for. And that's what I got. And you know what? It was 1000% worth it. Being able to meet him, the show was amazing. Being in New York City was amazing in the summertime. God, the city just was so beautiful. I loved it so much. And being able to be there with my cousin, who I'm so incredibly close with, and I see her almost more like a best friend or like a sister. It was just an opportunity and experience that is just so incredibly precious to me, and I'm just so grateful that I was in a position to be able to do something like that. And I'm grateful to my cousin, and I'm grateful to everything, the universe. And so yeah, that's my story. I had an amazing time telling that story yet again. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to press like and subscribe if you would like to see more content from me. Okay, thank you. Bye.